Alright, so Shalom, Yashala, giving all honor, praises, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Warchak, Badash, Barakatah Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Barakatah Yashala, Barakatah Yahweh. Gonna give double honor to the apostle and others, a great millstone, teach him well, oversee the construction of the tabernacle of David, a more perfect tabernacle. Shalom to the Akim, Walk scattered abroad, to sincere members, wow, to sincere members of the nation of Yasharallah, doubtful elect, who have been quickened these last days to stand upon their feet and bear witness to the words of truth. So this is Jeremiah 6:16. It says, Thus saith Yahweh Bashim Yahshai, stand ye in the ways and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your soul. But they said we will not walk therein. And although the scripture is talking about the ways, the culture, the knowledge, wisdom, understanding of our forefathers, I want to use the scripture to lay the foundation for this lesson, which is going to be in it's gonna be going into new speed, connotation, denotation, morphology, etymology, and all those things because I was watching a lesson by the elder Apostle Gabara this morning, and he was talking about how words have changed over time, and not only since words have changed over the time, what you have is let's go to Isaiah 60:1. Arise and shine, for thy light is come. The glory of Yahweh Shemel shines upon thee. It says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. But Yahweh Shemel shall rise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. Because of the fact that words have been changed and words are misrepresented, misinterpreted, misunderstood, people they get trapped in these doctrines, they get trapped in these ideologies, philosophies, this, that, and the third, and that's one of the weapons of Esau Edom, man, ignorance, man. He will use ignorance against you people because he understands that to conquer ignorance, you can only conquer ignorance with diligence. And when I say diligence is actually going into things, researching, going into books, reading books, comparative studies, this and the third. And through Esau's education system, people have been dumbed down, man. People don't really read, people don't even listen anymore, man. Everything is more so just spoon fed and what's the word, and crammed, man. So we're gonna go into a couple things. I'm not trying to have a long lesson, but first lesson word we're gonna look up is morphology.
Morphology.
This is morphology right here. Where you got two forms, two areas of study. You got biology. This is a branch of biology that deals with the form of living organisms and their relationship with their structures. And we have linguistics, the study of the forms of words. And morphology says form. Morpheme means formology means the study of form. And what does form mean? Form means shape. The study of shape and how it changes. So let's look at the word linguistics, because you gotta understand why does this even happen? Why do we have such thing as linguistics? It says
Linguistics.
the scientific, and we know science means what? Knowledge. That's why when you get a degree, even in something that's like not like, for instance, if you get a degree in political, if you get a degree in education as well, you have you get a degree, it says in the science of whatever, meaning the knowledge. Science, the word science goes back to knowledge. The scientific study of language and its structure, including the study of morphology, what syntax, the way sentences are structured, put together, of phonics, semantics. Semantics means just the uses of words. Specific branches. Well, actually, let's go into that because this is what the whole lesson is about, man. Words, these big words, man. These words and these the uses of them, and how if you're not going into these things, man, you're gonna get lost, man. Let's look at the word syntax. Actually, let's keep that how it is. I'm gonna open the window. It says syntax.
Syntax.
It says the arrangement of words and phrases to create well-formed sentences in a language. A set of rules for or analysis of the syntax of a language. It says the branch of linguistics that deals with syntax. But like it says, the arrangements of words and phrases to create well-formed sentences in a language. And that also goes into what, man? Spelling, man. Or what happens when you when you go deeper into it, because that's how Esau Edom casts his enchantments, and this is a sorcery. The way words are put into a sentence, and why certain words appear, because we know English is a very complicated language with the iffiness of it all, man, with the maybes, the mights, the would haves, all that, this, that, and the third. But when you place certain words in certain words in certain orders, man, you get enchantments and spells, man. That's why man, you can hey, man, it's a long thing to go into. So we look at syntax, which is what the arrangement word, and phonics.
Phonetics.
Since the study and classification of speech sounds, you mean like onomatopoeias, ah, oh, rah, blah, blah, blah. Semantics.
Semantics.
Since the branch of linguistics and logic concerned with meaning, there are a number of branches and sub-branches of semantics, including formal semantics, which studies the logical aspects of meaning, such as sense, reference, implication, and logical form. Lexical semantics, which studies word meanings and word relations, and conceptual semantics, which studies the cognitive structure of meaning. The meaning of a word, phrase, sentence, or text, man. What's important about all this that we're going to is Esau Edom has a whole branch of knowledge just devoted to the study of words, going deep into words. That's how important words is, man. Words have power, man. The scriptures tell us that what life and death is in the power of the tongue, man. So words have power. The placement of words, the emphasis you get on it, certain sounds, man, the vibration of it, the certain languages. When you go into these ancient languages, man, those ancient languages have power, man. Especially the Paleo Hebrew, man. There's a lot of power in that language because of the vibrations. So we go back here. It says specific branches of linguistics include social linguistics, dialectology, psycholinguistics, computational linguistics, historical comparative linguistics, and applied linguistics. You see, they have all these different branches for this one study, man. It just shows you how important it is. I'm going to go into, I'm going to do social linguistics, and then we're going to do psycholinguistics, because those are important.
Sociolinguistics.
Says the study of language in relation to what? Social factors, including the differences of regional class and occupational dialect, gender differences, and bilingualism, man. But then, what say, psycho.
Psycholinguistics.
The study of the relationship between linguistic behavior and psychological processes, including the process of language acquisition, man. Meaning what? How words affect your mind. How words affect, your day-to-day life. Because psycho goes back to what? It says related to mind or psychology. Mind, from the Greek, means breath, soul, mind, man. How words affect your mind. And again, man, it's important to understand why is there a whole branch of knowledge, or a study, a branch of study, including just limited to language in itself, man. Because language goes deep, man. Again, the power of life and death is in the tongue. So now that we got linguistics, we went into morphology. And morphology being, again, going back to morphology.
Morphology.
It's just the study of the forms of words. And then we have linguistics, which is basically the study of everything concerning language. We're going to go into the word etymology and show you that those are two different things, two different areas of study.
Etymology.
It says the study of the origin of words. The origin of words, and origin goes back to what? Beginning, Genesis, and the way in which their meanings have changed throughout history. The origin of word and its historical development of its meaning. And this is where we're going to start to get into the difference between denotation and connotation. So again,
Etymology.
eptos means true, epton. That's where you have the it says study of etymologos, and logos means the word. Study of etymology, student of etymology. And this right here is what this branch right here is the morphology. The change of the word over time from the Greek to Greek, Latin, Old French, and then now here late Middle English. Let's get a description on that. Hold on. Let's go to another tab. Job 8:8 says, "For inquire, I pray that." What does it mean to inquire? It means to make a diligent, to ask diligently. Let's go into that. Inquire. What is going on? Salakia. It says to ask on oneself, inquire. Blah blah blah. It says, "For inquire, I pray thee of what? Of the former age, men of the past, and prepare thyself to the search of their fathers. For we are but of yesterday, and know nothing, because our days upon earth are a shadow. Shall not they teach thee and tell thee in other words out of thy heart, man?" And that's important, because when we go back into the ancient days, the old days, we see that what, man? We see a different way of life, a different speech pattern, a different whole culture, way of going about things, man. And ultimately, the ancient ways were better, man. They had better food, better relationships, better ideas of how to do things, better. The men were stronger, the women were. Everything was better, man. Before the quote unquote modernization of the known world, man. That's why what? In the kingdom of heaven, we're going back to the old ways, the old paths, the way things used to be, man. There's not going to be, in the kingdom of heaven, you're not going to have refrigerators and PS5s and this, that, and the third, man. Everything's going to go back to the ancient way of doing things, man. We're going to have, everybody's going to own land. You know, the Israelites, they're going to own land. They're going to have farm animals. We're going to have gardens. We're going to have farms. We're gonna have this, down the third, man. So what? Because all that leads to what? Healthier, fresh food, man. And healthy, fresh food leads to a healthy, strong body, a healthy, strong mind. We're not gonna have GMOs, scientifically manipulated food and water in the kingdom of heaven, man. So again, man, that going back to the ancient ways, we see a whole different way of life. And hey, man, when you talk to I know. Back in the day when I was younger, it was people would sit around and talk to their older family members, and they'll just tell you how different life was, how people were happier. There was less crime, even though Esau Edom was still running rampant in the earth. There was less crime. People, especially amongst our community, we loved each other. We had we had a sense of a necessity when it comes to keeping those close family bonds. We are this and the third, and when you go even further back, man, just the way of life was more beautiful. The earth looked different, man. The earth was more beautiful. The land masses look different. The maps were different, man. Everything has been changed, man. So now going back to the etymology, And what it says, a study of the origin of words, and we know that origin is the beginning, and the way in which their meanings have changed throughout history. We can't go into what, man? The difference between denotation and connotation.
Denotation.
It says the literal or primary meaning of a word in contrast to the feelings or ideas that the word suggests. Let me read that again. The literal or primary meaning of a word in contrast to the feelings or idea that the word suggests, man. Meaning the truth of the word minus in contrast to the way that it's interpreted, man. What it actually means. It says the actions or process of indicating or referring to something by means of a word, symbol, etc. And here we go, philosophy. It says the object of the concept to which a term refers, or the set of objects of which which a predicate is true. And that's important because the denotation tells us how the word is actually defined, the actual usage of a word, what it's supposed to mean, what it's meant, basically over time.
Connotation.
An idea or feeling that a word invokes in addition to its literal or primary meaning. Here in philosophy, the abstract meaning or an intentional term which forms a principle determining which objects or concept it applies to, man. Here it goes. It says connotere, mark in addition. So basically, what, man? It says an idea or feeling that a word invokes, an idea or feeling what you feel when you see a certain word, what you think about when you feel a certain word, as opposed to what the word actually means. Now we have millions and millions upon millions an example of that when it comes to language, man. The best term we can go into is the whole idea of being gay. When you go into the word, it's denotation. The word gay just simply means happy. It's a synonym for happy, a feeling. But the connotation, the word nowadays, the word in its colloquial use is that to refer to one that lives an alternative lifestyle when it comes to sexual relationships between genders. And you see the difference. When we go into let's see examples of that's perfect. So it says denotation is the act of using a word or symbol to signify an explicit meaning or a set of meanings. The particular meaning of a word or symbol is its denotation. Get a denotation definition along with several examples of denotation literature, blah, 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 blah. It says denotation literary definition. The most common type of denotation. Oh, I'm all over the place this morning. It's like you. The most common type of denotation that you'll come across is in literature. Denotation means the literal definition of a word. You hear that? The literal definition of a word, what it actually means. For example, man, and like I said, there's a whole, because we live in gross darkness, man. You could say literally anything like marriage, man. When the word marriage just means they're joined together, let's prove it. See right here, it says the legal or formal recognized union of two people as partners in a personal relationship, historically in some jurisdictions, specifically a union between a man and a woman. Blah, 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 blah. Let's get it, marriage right here. says marriage. Blah blah blah. Blah 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 blah. But let's see what. It says okay, wed says to pledge oneself covenant to do something. You know what I'm saying? Just it's just a basically like swearing. But now, when people think of marriage or a wedding, they think about the whole bells and whistles going before some priest, going to some church, getting a marriage license, blah blah blah. And that's the difference between a denotation and a connotation. The literal meaning of the word is just to join together, man. Join together, and then your connotation is what the whole idea, here comes the bride type bullshit. So here's to give an example. The denotation for blue is the color blue. It says, for example, the girl was blue. You mean the girl was quite literally the color blue. Like, quite literally, man, the girl was blue. You mean the girl was quite literally the color blue. When you're looking at the sentence, it says you are a dog. You mean that the animal, is literally a carnivorous domesticated animal furring a snout. It says denotation example, still a bit confused. Look at these denotation sentence examples, blah, blah, blah. Now let's get into the connotation. So while denotation is the literal meaning of the word, connotation is a feeling or indirect meaning. For example, here you're going to see the difference, man. You're going to see the difference between a denotation and a connotation, and why it's so important to understand the two when it comes to reading the Bible, when it comes to talking to people, when it comes to anything. It says denotation blue, the color blue, the actual color blue. That's what the word means, blue. Blue is a color. But the connotation, when you say blue, it means I'm feeling sad, I'm under the weather. Depending on whether you're using connotation or denotation, the sentence, she was blue, could mean she was literally blue or she was sad. Here's another example to really drive this home. Denotation dog, animal, connotation dog, ugly. Again, the sentence, you are a dog could have two different meanings. You are saying they're an animal or ugly. Knowing whether a writer is using connotation or denotation depends on the text surrounding the passages. Let's check out a few literary examples. That's important because, when you call somebody a dog, the actual meaning of that word is you're calling them an animal. But when somebody's, especially here, because connotation rules this whole planet right now. So when I call somebody a dog, it's what, man? I'm saying that they treat people bad or they're rough around the edges, or, what I'm saying, that's my friend, you know what I'm saying? That's my dog. But when I say that's my dog, I'm not calling him my pet or an animal. I'm saying I'm using that word dog as a term of endearment, man. And hopefully you get the example and it clicks in your mind, because that's literally how the world operates right now. Nobody really takes words seriously anymore. They take them for what they have been turned into today, man. The connotation rules. That's why it says that's one of the ways that gross darkness has covered the people, because as the other apostles said at the time, people don't know the definition of words, man, their meanings, and on top of that, people don't really use the literal definition of meanings in the world, man. If you were to actually, how confusing it would be if you were actually just to go around having conversations with people or asking people to do certain things using the denotation instead of a connotation. You know what I mean? Like how, like, for example, if you said I wanted to I can't even think of an example, but Hey man, it's the point still stands because what, man? Right now we operate under a term called newspeak. Newspeak,
Newspeak.
ambiguous, euphemistic language used chiefly in political propaganda, man. Because everything goes back to politics, man. Everything goes back to some type of agenda, man. That's why words have been changed around so it can fit an agenda, man. And that's why, man, these big words, you gotta watch out for these big words. You gotta watch out for people who use these big words. Because half the time, people use these big words to sound like they're intelligent. I know me personally, the only time I talk a certain way is if I'm talking to a certain group of people, man. If I want to show off my intelligence, then I'm definitely gonna use words that are complicated in nature, words that are definitely more than two syllables. You know what I mean. Especially when I'm talking to a certain group of people, because why, man? Your words have power, man. You wanna. Everything is based off words, man. That's why the scriptures is called the word of the Most High, man. Words have power, and when you get into study linguistics and stuff like that, it helps you become a better reader. It helps your contextual awareness. You understand what's going on in the scriptures, man. That's why the elder apostles go all the time, man. You want to look up words. You want to go into the ancient languages because the whole meaning of certain passages change, man. For example, man, the whole Genesis 1 breakdown, man. The whole Genesis 1 breakdown, man. How we understand that it was the Elohim that created, the whole planet and everything that dwells therein at the order of Yahweh, man. That's how we know that what, man, it's lucky. That's what, when we go into, that's how we know that the MOTB is what we say it is, man, an implantable chip, because of what? We're going to the word charagma. This sound the third, man. When you go into these ancient languages, it expounds your whole understanding with text, man. Because what, man? These words that we read here in the Old English, they were originally written in the Hebrew, man. So I just wanted to quickly go through that, man, because it's important that we understand, man. We understand words. We understand the power the words have, man. Especially when we deal with a text as weighty as the scriptures, man. And not only that, when we deal with people from in our day-to-day lives. So this is Ecclesiastes 12:13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. For Yahweh Shema Shai and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. For Yahweh Shema Shai shall make every work into judgment for every secret thing, whether it be good, whether it be evil. With that being said, Lawaya.